Hello student. In last lecture we studied about the methods of the preparations of haloalkanes and haloarenes from alcohols. As we know that from alcohol we have to prepare haloalkanes and haloarenes, mainly haloalkanes, not haloarenes, because in the case of phenol, as we know that the resonating structure or the canonical structure of phenol having a C double bond O characteristics, so it's hard to break this type of the bond. That's why the most of the reactions of preparations of haloalkanes from alcohol, we have use a different types of reagent like concentrated halogen acid, then phosphorus halide like trihalide and pentahalide, and thionyl chloride. As we know that in the case of thionyl chloride we get a almost pure product, because due to the nature of the byproduct SO2 and HCl, they are gaseous in nature, so they escape very well. In the case of phosphorus trihalide, we get 80% of yield. If we want to get a more amount of yield, so this reaction is quite good. So what's the main thing about the reactions with the halogen acid? So halogen acids at that time, because we distinguish the tertiary, secondary and primary alcohol in laboratory with the help of this test. So in further studies in the case of alcohol, phenols and ether lesson, we have to discuss about these reactions with the help of Lucas test. So this is all about the recap of our last session. Now we move to the another session, methods of the preparations of haloalkanes. Not haloalkanes, but it's a methods of the preparations of haloalkanes as well as haloarene too, and it's from hydrocarbons. So as we know that the title suggests hydrocarbon, it means that either alkane, then alkene, then alkyne and arene. But our textbook or our NCERT syllabus gives such a type of scenario, because all these reactions which cannot be performed in our textbook in this chapter, right? So first, by free radical halogenations. What is the, because in the case of alkane, when we studied in alkane in hydrocarbon lesson, so already we studied these portions in a general manner. For example, halogenations of alkanes with chlorine or bromine in presence of heat or light. For example, if we having a alkane, right? When alkane, halogenations of alkane, particularly Cl2 means chlorination or bromination, in presence of heat or light, light means ultraviolet light, okay, gives a complex mixture. It gives a complex mixture of mono or di or polyhaloalkanes. Polyhaloalkanes. Chlorinations of methane. For example, if I give the example with the help of chlorinations of methane. So methane when chlorinated with the help of Cl2 in presence of sunlight, or we know that 520 to 670 Kelvin temperature is required. So we get a different products: chloromethane, dichloromethane, trichloromethane, tetrachloromethane, right? As we know that although the substitutions beyond these monohalogenations can largely be suppressed by controlling the ratio of halogen to alkane, yet this method is not much practical use in the laboratory, because the boiling point of these haloalkanes are quite close, so hence cannot be easily separated. That's why, however, in industries, such a complex mixture, this type of the complex mixture, which can be easily separated using a long fractionating columns, so it's a fractional distillation process. This is all about the methane. But in case of higher alkanes like propane, butane, monohalogenation, mind well, now monohalogenations only gives a mixture of all the possible isomeric haloalkanes, including thereby that all types of hydrogen, whether primary, secondary or tertiary, are substituted by the halogen atom. For example, in the case of propane, when it's chlorinated in presence of sunlight, we have a different two products, CH3, CH2, CH2Cl. Mind you, it's a monohalogenation, okay? And number two is like that, CH3, CHCl, CH3. It's a 2-chloropropane. So two different products are present in this reaction. So this reaction is having a 45% yield and this is having a 55% yield. Why? Because as we know that free radical halogenation, it means that there is a two possibilities of a primary free radical and secondary free radical. As we know that secondary free radical is more stable than primary free radical, okay? That's why secondary free radical is more stable than primary, because in secondary free radical there is a effect of inductive effect as well as hyperconjugation, both effect that can be arise in the case of secondary free radical. That's why secondary free radical is quite stable in nature. So we get a major product, but mind well in the case of chlorination, okay? In the case of chlorination. What about in the case of butane? For example, CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. It's a butane. When it's monochlorinated in presence of sunlight near about 298 Kelvin temperature, here also 298 Kelvin temperature, we get a product is like that, okay? CH3, CH2, 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 Cl plus CH3, CH2, CH, Cl, CH3. So 1-chlorobutane and 2-chlorobutane, either the chlorination in this terminal methyl having the same product like 1-chlorobutane, and when the monochlorination in this position also gives identical product 2-chlorobutane. But 2-chlorobutane is 72% yield while 1-chlorobutane having a 28% only. So this is all about the butane. Fine. So now we says that the relative amount, right, 28, 72, 45, 55 of these isomeric haloalkanes, however, depend upon the nature of halogen. So chlorine or bromine, because mind well, in the case of chlorinations this is a major, but in case of bromination maybe it's differ. And the number and type of the hydrogens, either your hydrogen is primary in nature or secondary in nature or tertiary in nature, so being substituted. So in general, the ease of substitutions of various hydrogen follows the sequence is like that: tertiary, secondary and primary. But the relative rates vary with the nature of halogen. For example, if we perform the monochlorination with the help of Cl2, the relative rate of the substitutions of tertiary, secondary and primary is like that: 5 gem 3.8 gem 1. It means in the case of tertiary is a 5 times, 3.8 times and 1 times. But in the case of bromine, here the rate is based on 298 Kelvin, for example of chlorine, okay? But in the case of bromine, but mind well, at 400 Kelvin, the rate same, order is same, tertiary, secondary, but the data are different: 1600 gem 82 gem 1. So this is all about the chlorination and bromination reactions. One more example which can be given in your NCERT example. For example, if I having a CH3, CH, CH3, CH2, CH3. Okay, once again CH3, CH, CH3, CH2, CH3. What is the name of this compound? 2-methyl butane. How many carbon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or sometimes called as an isopentane 2. Isopentane 2. Now the monochlorination of isopentane gives how many monochlorinated compounds, right? That is the question. Okay, so these two positions are same position. Mind well, this position is not the same position, okay? Okay, for example, any chlorinations of this methyl and methyl give the same product: CH2, Cl, CH, CH3, CH2, CH3. right? Then it's a different one. So CH3, C, Cl, CH3, CH2, CH3, number 2 product. Then on here CH2, right? So it's a different product, CH3, CH, CH3, CH, Cl, CH3, and fourth one is like that, fourth one. So CH3, CH, CH3, CH2, CH2, Cl. So we get four different types of products. Okay, so four different types of hydrogen atoms, because four different types of hydrogen atom. That's why we get four different types of the products. In the case of JEE Advance or JEE Main, so they can ask the questions with the help of this rate of the reactions. So 5 gem, 3 gem, 3.8.1. So give the percentage of the for example percentage of this product is near about 27.78%, or you have to find out the percentage too, right? In the case of this CH2, right? This CH2. So we get a different types of. For example, in this case, we get a product is 13.89%. In the case of 35.18%, and here in this case 23.14%. So different products that we have to form. But in the case of NCERT, we have a certain idea. So which type of the reactions and how can we perform these reactions? Now about the iodination reaction, because this is all about the chlorination and bromination. But what about the iodination reaction? In the iodination reactions, we know that it may be carried out in the presence of an oxidizing agent such as HiO3, okay, HNO3 and HGO, that we have already discussed in our hydrocarbon lesson in the case of alkane. Why? Because this iodination is a reversible reaction. When methane, iodination of methane gives what? So it gives CH3I plus HI. But this HI, when it forms, which destroys the HI as its form, thus drives the reactions in the forward reaction. So for destroying HI, we destroy HI with the help of HiO3 or HNO3. So it's converted into I2 and H2O. We know that the fluorination of hydrocarbon, this is all about the iodination. What about the fluorination? Fluorination of hydrocarbon with a pure F2 gas occurs explosively. That's why this is partly due to low bond dissociation energy of the F2 and partly due to the strongly exothermic nature of the one of the termination steps. So this step is so exothermic that the energy release is larger than the required to the CC bond, thereby resulting in fission of the molecule. Direct fluorination of hydrocarbon may be carried out successively by diluting F2 with an inert gas, but which cannot be that much discussed in our book. So this is all about the by free radical halogenations method. These halogenations, as we know that the mechanism of these halogenations via free radical and free radical formation is due to helper group, either heat or electricity or light or peroxide or any free radical who generate free radical too. Now our next point, by electrophilic substitutions reactions. Our next point is by electrophilic substitution reaction. It means that here the substitution phenomena, with the help of electrophile. In the case of arene compound, when we focus on arene compounds, right? So it's a one type of nuclear halogenation. So aryl chlorides or bromides can be easily prepared by electrophilic substitutions of arenes. For example, if I am having a arene compound like benzene, when this benzene is chlorinated, but in presence of Lewis acid catalyst FeCl3, it's a chlorination of benzene, and it's a electrophilic substitution reactions performed at near about 30 to 40 degrees centigrade temperature. So we get a product is like that, and the product is chlorobenzene, and hydrochloric acid is released. Same way, if we perform the reactions of benzene in presence of bromine with the help of FeBr3, near slight temperature is increased due to the size of bromine, so we get a product is like a bromobenzene. It's a mono substituted product, and HBr is released. So in the case of these are the catalysts, Lewis acid catalyst that we have to use. Same way, in the case of toluene, for example, I have a compound toluene. When this toluene is chlorinated, but mind well, in presence of anhydrous, right? FeCl3 is a Lewis acid catalyst. So we get two different isomers, ortho and para. This is already we discussed in our prior session, hydrocarbon lesson and directing group effect, because as we know that this methyl is ortho para directing group. So your new incoming group which can be enter either at ortho position or at para position. So we get two different product, orthochlorotoluene and para-chlorotoluene. So one is a minor and one is a major. Para is a major product and this one is the minor product. And we know that in the case of these electrophilic substitution reactions, the ortho and para isomers can be easily separated due to the larger difference in their melting point, right? But what about the iodination of benzene? So now we switch over to the iodination of benzene. So in the case of iodination of benzene, the reactions with iodine are reversible in nature, as we know that. So it's required the presence of same an oxidizing agent like HNO3, HiO4 to oxidize the Hi formed during iodination. And fluorocompounds are not prepared by this method because it's due to high reactivity of fluorine. Now the next portion, according to my perception angle, so it's from alkene because it's a revision process from alkenes. As we know that addition of alkenes, this is also performed with two different method. Addition of HX that we already studied in the case of alkenes, when you have a C double bond C, when it reacts with HX, so it's converted into like that, right? H and X. If your alkene is a symmetric in nature, no problem. But if your alkene is like that, CH3 CH double bond CH2 plus HI, so we get a two different products, CH3 CH2 CH2I, and another product is a 2-iodopropane. So this is a major, yes, it's a major product, and this one is minor product, and which can be explained with the help of Markovnikov rule. What is the Markovnikov rule? When any asymmetric alkene or alkyne unsaturated compounds are present, when it reacts with a asymmetric reagents, at that time the more electronegative portion of your asymmetric reagent is attached with those carbon which is attached with a double bond having a lesser number of hydrogen atoms, right? So our minor and major product, at that time we have to study about the anti-Markovnikov rule in the presence of peroxide like benzoyl peroxide or tertiary butyl peroxide or hydrogen peroxide or Khalas effect is as we know that, right? So it's a simple revision topic in the case of alkenes. Number 2, in the case of addition of halogen, okay, X2. So what is the addition of halogen? Simple, CH2 double bond CH2, when it reacts with bromine in presence of CCl4, so we get a product CH2Br and CH2Br. So it's 1,2-dibromo. So it's a NT in nature, right? It's a vicinal dibromide 2. and it's a test because the brown color of bromine is disappear. Okay, so it's a identification test for the unsaturation, already studied in our prior lesson hydrocarbon. So it's a simple method, it's a anti-additions, and we get a certain type of the product. So this is all about the brominations of alkenes, right? Some more examples, because as we know that in these reactions with HX, so we perform these reactions. What's the mechanism behind it? Which can be done by electrophilic addition reactions. Yes, definitely it's a electrophilic addition reactions. And in the case of electrophilic addition reactions, always the mechanism pass through via carbocation. So importance of carbocation in the case of addition of HX. Some particularly exercise which can be given in your NCERT textbook, which is like that. Okay, for example, if I having a compound like that, it's a C double bond C H H H. It's a one compound. Okay, when it reacts with HBr, mind well, HBr. Okay, is there any presence of peroxide? No. So we have to use a certain type of the program. So Markovnikov rule is applied in this case. It's asymmetric in nature, definitely asymmetric in nature, because in this carbon is attached with two hydrogen while it's a ring and H, so asymmetric in nature. When asymmetric is joined with a asymmetric reagent, so definitely we use a Markovnikov rule and we get a product like that. Okay, so it's a CH, Br and CH3. It's a major product that we have to form. One more example which is given in your NCERT textbook is example 10.4. In this title 10.4, now we continue with a second example. This is but1ene. When it reacts with hydrochloric acid, mind well, hydrochloric acid, no peroxide is present. Asymmetric in nature, definitely asymmetric in nature. So we get a product is like that: CH3, CH2, CH, Cl, CH3. Right? It's a 2-chlorobutane. It's a major product. What about the next reaction? It's a compound which can be written in this manner: CH double bond CH2. But mind well, in presence of what? HBr. But there is a presence of peroxide. So it's an anti-Markovnikov rule. So not a lesser number of hydrogen but a greater number of hydrogen. So we get a product is like that. CH2 CH double bond. Okay, so it's a CH2 Br and this is hydrogen. So we get a product. Because anti-Markovnikov rule is always used in the presence of HBr. Okay, it's a free radical mechanism. So this is all about the additions of HX and addition of X2. One more portion, because Sandmeyer reaction, so due to the lesser time, because our video duration period is almost 23-24 minutes, so we discuss in our next sessions about our continued topic is the Sandmeyer reactions. Okay, thank you very much.